So there are a lot of different timelines in the Halloween franchise, and the Cult of Thorn trilogy might be the most controversial and the craziest one of them all. But specifically, Halloween 4: The Return of Michael Myers is definitely one of the most beloved but also debated movies in this franchise. But today, I'm going to talk about why you're wrong about Halloween 4. What is up, everyone? Welcome to Mad Blood and welcome to the outside of the Meeker House in Salt Lake City, Utah. And again, I'm going to be talking about why you're wrong about Halloween 4: The Return of Michael Myers, which is actually celebrating its 37th anniversary from the time it came out in 1988. Which was a time in the horror genre where a lot of the long-running and biggest franchises were either taking a break or kind of just running out of ideas. And yeah, like I mentioned, this movie kicks off one of the most controversial timelines in this entire franchise, the Thorn timeline. But initially, the idea before Halloween 4 was, okay, yes, we have Halloween 1978 and we have Halloween 2, which are of course connected, but with Halloween 3, that's going to kick off an anthology series for the Halloween franchise, and that's where John Carpenter and Deborah Hill wanted this franchise to go. Now, I love Halloween 3, of course, and I have videos about Halloween 3 on my channel, but that movie didn't do so well, so they had to end up ditching that idea, the whole anthology idea, and going back to the basics, which, of course, like the title of this movie tells you, it's going to be the return of Michael Myers, which is exactly what fans wanted to see. So Halloween 4 is a direct sequel to Halloween 2. So yeah, the brother-sister timeline still exists in this movie, but one of the biggest question marks going into Halloween 4 was, how are they going to bring back Michael Myers? Because of course, at the end of Halloween 2, we literally saw Michael burn alive. And it's not like it was one of those things that was off screen. No, we slowly saw him just burn to a crisp. And so Halloween 4: The Return of Michael Myers technically takes place 10 years after the events that we saw in Halloween 1978 and Halloween 2, that Halloween night in 1978, all the madness that went down there in Haddonfield. And during this time frame, 10 years, Michael has been in a comatose after, of course, burning alive essentially at the end of Halloween 2. And Halloween 4 kicks off October 30th, 1988. And I know this has been kind of talked about ad nauseum, but I really do think that the opening credits to Halloween 4 are just so on point, especially during the colder parts of the year. You can hear the windmill slowly turning. It's cold and crisp, and you can almost feel it through the screen. And I also like showing these farms instead of just the normal like Haddonfield neighborhood, because for me personally, I've always kind of looked at Halloween 4 and Halloween 5 as more of a blue collar type of a vibe than almost any other Halloween movie in this franchise, outside of maybe Rob Zombie's Halloween, especially Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Even in Halloween 5, I mean, Michael is killing folks with some of the farming tools, which is a lot of fun. But just this opening sequence with the farms and the vibe and the coldness to it, it adds just that nice niche that makes this movie feel very different right off the bat. But I feel like this intro just sets the mood perfectly as kind of the overarching foundation and just the overall feel of this entire movie. And yeah, that great atmosphere just continues later that night. It is rainy, it is dark, and we're at this Ridgemont Federal Sanitarium, which is right here behind me, where they filmed the outside of that part of the movie. But they're here to now pick up the badly burned Michael Myers. After everything that happened at the end of Halloween 2, Michael, it's time, all of those events that we saw at the end of that movie, and they're here to transfer Michael to Smith's Grove. What could go wrong with that? And for me, the sanitariums have always worked in this franchise as just a general setting, whether we're inside of them or outside of them. I've always enjoyed it. It's like what that guy says. It's like, Jesus ain't got nothing to do with this place. And these dumbasses decided it would be a brilliant idea to have no armed security in the back of this ambulance with Michael Myers. But it does introduce us to how this version of Michael is going to be in this movie. He's killing these two with his hands. He's shoving his thumb right into that guy's forehead. And he does that kind of thing a lot in this movie, which I really like. Just getting his hands in there, you know, showing his pure strength, ripping throats out, throwing people around, tossing weapons to the side just so he can manhandle them a little bit more. And to me, I really do think that was a brilliant creative choice in Halloween 4. And also, just to talk about Michael a little bit more, just in general in this movie, George P. Wilbur playing the character mainly in this one, but I think overall it is a version of Michael Myers that has really grown on me, not only just the mask, which is a mask that I now really love. When I first saw this movie, I was kind of like, it looks a little weird, especially in comparison to Halloween 1978 and also Halloween 2 with that mask and that look of the character, those portrayals of the character. I mean, easily some of the scariest and most sinister and just best portrayals of Michael Myers in this franchise. But this mask really has grown on me. It looks weird. It looks kind of creepy in the right way. Yeah, there's some shots of Michael I'll talk about in just a minute where he doesn't look all that great. But overall, I do think George P. Wilbur does a good job in this movie. Like I said, he's just like mean and physical and strong, which I really like. And definitely looks creepy, and I think they also shot the character of Michael pretty well in a lot of the scenes as well. But now I will say, after Michael kills that mechanic at Penny's and we see the bandages all bloody, I've talked about this before on my channel, but that's a damn good look for the character. Isn't it kind of crazy to think what this movie would have been if Michael just continued the rest of this movie in the bloody bandages? Now, I get this is the Halloween franchise, and in most cases, Michael likes to pick up clothes along the way and masks and other things like that. So the fact of him just walking around this movie in bloody bandages is probably unlikely, but still, that would have been pretty damn scary if at the very least we would have gotten just a little bit more of this movie with the bandages. You know, just a few more kills, a few more scenes with the bandages, and then he switches. I think that would have been pretty damn scary and pretty damn cool just overall. But regardless, like I mentioned earlier, I like this portrayal of Michael Myers. It's not the best for me in the franchise, but the mask and again, just the physicality of the character in Halloween 4, I think is great. And I am right outside of the Carruthers house in Salt Lake City, Utah, but right after Mikey rises from his nice little nap, we meet a couple of the most iconic characters in this entire franchise. Now, as far as Ellie Cornell goes as Rachel Carruthers in this movie, she's not like a top 5 character in this franchise necessarily for me, but I do think she does a really good job in this movie just overall. She kind of plays a little bit of that like Laurie Strode, good girl type of a role, but I do think she complements this movie really, really well. And also, like, she does have some great chemistry with Jamie as the movie goes along, which definitely elevates the scenes that they are in. And of course, we have to talk about Danielle Harris as Jamie Lloyd, one of the best child actors in horror history, just a very likable kid. And a lot of times we see it very tropey and kind of just feels redundant when they give these kids in the genre like their parents had passed away in a tragic accident, or they just give them some sort of a trauma. But I feel like with the character of Jamie, I feel like Danielle Harris just does a great job making us really empathize and feel for that character, this poor kid throughout this movie. I feel like with Jamie and a character like Andy Barclay from the Child's Play franchise, I feel like those are damn near the top of just those characters you really, really want to root for. And overall, just all-time iconic child actors in the genre. And then, of course, we got to jump into Halloween Day. We're here, Haddonfield, October 31st. It's Halloween morning, and then we see, Loomis here at Penny's. It's a pretty big, action scene with some big stuff going on. Loomis is shooting off his gun like crazy, like normal. Sparks and explosions are going off here at the gas station. Michael's bursting out of the garage there with the car. I think it's a pretty fun and kind of an action sequence, which is interesting for this franchise. Now, we do hear the updated Halloween 4 score earlier a little bit in the movie, but I feel like in this scene, after Penny's gas station and the explosions and the madness, that is when this new updated score really kicks in. And I enjoy it a lot. It's kind of a tingier version of the original score, but overall, I think it's great. And also, when it comes to cozy horror movies, I feel like for me, Halloween 4 is damn near at the top of that list. In a lot of ways, it kind of reminds me of A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, just how we're in this American suburbia and we're following the lives of these kids in an American, just suburban part of town. But this town is cozy. The Halloween vibes are definitely on point. The fall leaves are all over the place. Plus, when you mix in the chemistry of this cast, I feel like if I'm having a rough day, I can throw on Halloween 4 and just kind of feel cozy and relaxed. I mean, give me a little pumpkin pie, a little whipped cream on top, and this movie damn. I mean, it's just cozy as hell. Okay, so I am right next to where they filmed that accidental shooting of Ted Hollister in Halloween 4, the whole mob scene. But say what you will about a movie like Halloween Kills, which definitely takes a lot of that mob stuff and it's inspired by Halloween 4. But I do think how they did it in Halloween 4 was pulled off better, in my opinion. I think it was a little bit more organic, and it really just feels like a group of people who are like, all right, the government did not handle this last time in 1978. It didn't go so well. So this time, we're going to take it upon ourselves and we're going to handle this. And yeah, just the whole mob scene and how they come together after the bar, having a few beers. I like how it goes down in Halloween 4. And in Halloween 4, it's not like, all right, guys, listen to my big Shakespearean football pregame speech. This bartender is just like, well, come on, Jackie, watch the register for me, hon. You got it, Earl. And these dudes slightly buzzed in their dope-ass trucks and with their Second Amendment rights, and they're just heading off to take care of some shit. It just kind of feels a little bit more organic and how it would actually go down in the late 80s in a town like this. And we got to talk about good old Bucky, as I'm here in Salt Lake City where they filmed the entire Bucky death scene. But has there been a more short-lived character in the Halloween franchise that has become more iconic? What are you, deaf? Don't try that Halloween shit with me. But what a great moment. And once again, it's Michael just showing his pure strength in this movie. He's not slicing people up like you would normally expect him to do. No, he is just tossing this poor bastard into this transformer power plant thingy. But overall, just some fun effects with all the sparks going all over the place. And yeah, an iconic, small and short, but a fun scene nonetheless. And Michael's just like, well, I came here to kill the power, but you're here, so I guess I'll kill the power with some style and also add to the body count. But we definitely get the two best electrical kills in this entire franchise, in the Thorn trilogy in particular. We've got this one, and then of course, John Strode's death in Halloween 6. I also have one thing that I need to say about Halloween 4 as I'm outside of the Meeker house right now. Cops, do it by the book, guys, right? Speaking of Kelly Meeker, I love her death in this movie. Michael's got the pump shotgun that he got from the cop and does not shoot her. He just shoves this thing straight through her and pins her up against the wall, which I also think is just a brilliant creative choice to have Michael not shoot her. And that's kind of exactly what I would want Michael to do in a scene like this if he got his hands on a gun. It's kind of like Ghostface shooting people with a shotgun in Scream 6. It's like, no, don't do that. That's not Ghostface. Take notes from the Halloween franchise. If Ghostface or Michael Myers gets their hands on a gun like this, do something interesting with it. I also think Brady's kill is a fun one too. Michael just waltzes right up to him, throws the gun to the side, and just manhandles this guy and crushes him. Now, this is a little bit of a nitpick, but I have always thought in that scene when Brady spits to the side, it kind of does take away a little something from that scene, because if your head is literally being crushed, the pain would be unimaginable. And he just kind of casually spits to the side. They should have edited that part out. It just kind of seems like he's not actually hurt in that moment. But regardless, we get some good shots right there of Michael's mask once again. And again, he is just showing off his pure strength and his ability just to absolutely manhandle everybody in this movie. Speaking of Michael's look just a little bit more in this movie, there are some moments where it feels quite a bit different than the greatness of the look of the character in Halloween 1978 and Halloween 2, especially that moment there on the roof where, clearly you can see like the shoulder pad thing going there. He kind of just looks a little bit unathletic and a little bit goofy. Doesn't ruin the character. Like I already mentioned earlier, this character has some great qualities, and the way it's portrayed, I think overall is very good in this movie. But that moment, that moment is not great. And man, even all these years later, it still blows my mind that we get that moment in the school with the bleach blonde Michael Myers mask. It is like, how does that happen in a movie like this? Come on, guys. It is just crazy. But still, I do laugh my ass off every time I see it. And after everything that goes down in the house, which is a pretty fun moment for me, but at the very end of this movie, I enjoy it quite a bit. Like I mentioned, Michael is just once again manhandling everybody. He's throwing these guys off of the truck, which by the way, looks like some brutal stunt work there. Hopefully they got these guys like a 6-pack of beer or something, but I need to talk about that throat rip, where every time I see it, I'm like, damn, Like, that is surprisingly very gory for the Halloween franchise up until this point in the franchise. And yes, especially in the original Halloween 2, we get some crazy and over-the-top kills, definitely a bit of like a Friday the 13th vibe to it. But with this throat rip, it's just different than those kills. Like I said, it is surprisingly gory. Michael is getting his hands in there, and you can see inside of this guy's neck. And it's just like, damn, that is surprisingly nasty for the Halloween franchise. And then, of course, after the fun scene with the truck, Michael gets ran the hell over and then just eats bullet after bullet after bullet. And these guys are like, you know, should we recover the body just to be safe? And they're just kind of like, nah, we're good. We're getting kind of tired anyways. Even Loomis, Michael Myers, is in hell, buried where he belongs. What do you mean, man? You've shot him how many times up until this point in the franchise? Burned him alive? You of all people. Come on, man. And as far as the very end of Halloween 4, basically recreating the opening scene of Halloween 1978, I don't really love it, and it's kind of the early stages of some of the stuff that we see in Halloween Ends, this idea of like evil possibly being able to like transfer into other people. Of course, we see here that Jamie has stabbed her foster mom, and then Loomis literally just wants to shoot her on the spot with zero hesitation. And on one hand, yeah, pretty cool that it's like this massive, crazy ass ending that I'm sure made a lot of people leave the theater in 1988 with their jaws pretty close to the floor. But to me, it does feel a bit repetitive with that opening scene in Halloween 1978. But really, in the end, Halloween 4, very similar to a movie like Halloween 6, really has grown on me in a lot of ways, just like The Mask has really grown on me. A fun portrayal of the character. I love how this version, like I've mentioned, kind of ad nauseum throughout this video, but Michael is just so physical in this movie, and I feel like that's different than a lot of the other movies in this franchise where he's typically using weapons. In this one, he's just getting his hands all up in there, which I think is great in this movie and just adds a little something extra to that character. But of course, great characters in this movie, and I love how like we're so much in the town of Haddonfield and we're seeing a lot of different things. We're not just with trick-or-treating and the night of Halloween in the suburban town. No, we're seeing the store where some of the kids work at, the school, the dynamic at home, and things like that. But also, of course, we get introduced to one of the most iconic characters in this entire franchise, one of the best child actors in the entire genre, Jamie, who is great in this movie, really makes you root for this character. And yeah, Halloween 4, I mean, it does so many things well. Not a perfect movie by any means. It's not like my favorite movie in this entire franchise. But like I said earlier, a very cozy movie in particular for me. Just when I put it on, I just feel something. You know what I mean? I just feel relaxed and I just feel like life is gonna be okay. Halloween 4, just a hell of a lot of fun. But anyways, everybody, that is why you're wrong about Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. But if you want some more videos from me right now, go ahead and check out some of these videos next to me. If you don't want to miss future videos on the channel, the best way to do that is to make sure you subscribe. Also, guys, let me know down in the comments down below what you think about Halloween 4. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like on it. It really does help me out a lot. All of my social media links are going to be down below in the description if you want to follow me over there, Instagram, Twitch, all that good stuff. But thanks so much for watching, everybody. It is always great to talk Halloween content with you here on the channel. I absolutely love it. But anyways, my name is Matt, and I will talk to you in the next one.